Welcome back. I think I moved. Did I move? This is BVarsity Live. I'm Zach Ewing. Trevor Horn's here. The Liberty Patriots have left. Pretty confident bunch.
They should be.
They're 2-3, but I don't think people say they've played a tough schedule. I don't think people understand exactly how tough. I'm going to look up those numbers. I'll get to them in a minute.
Number 6 in the state.
Yeah, but I mean, not just the ranking, but the actual metric that Max Preps and Cal Preps use. And I know it's not perfect. I understand people don't want to trust the math 100%, and I get that, and I don't think you should trust it 100%. But what I will say is that it's the best thing you have to go off of. It's objective. It basically takes the win-loss record of your opponents and who they've played and their margin of victory or defeat against those teams and kind of jumbles that all up, throws it all together, and gives you one number. The higher the number, the better the schedule, okay? Well, so for instance, Ridgeview, their schedule strength is 21. That's after they played Golden Valley. It was higher than that. Golden Valley brought it down a little bit. Bullard, 26.3, okay? Liberty, 42.5. And the next closest in the central section is Clovis North at 36.5. So you got a gap of 6, and that gap was actually higher before last week when Liberty played Frontier, a good team, but Clovis North played a very good team in Clovis
West. And it still would have even been higher because you would have tacked on Central, which would have still given them another D1
I actually
opponent.
don't.
Do you think that would actually gone down?
Is so good that Central might have brought it down. That's how good it is. That on average, the teams they played are better than Central. So people don't seem to understand exactly how good of a schedule we're talking about. So I said they're 42.5. Clovis North is 36.5. Clovis West 32.4, and then the other one up there is Bakersfield at 33.
Well, look at the 3 teams that they've lost to. Mission Viejo is quite possibly a Pac-5 champion contender, and they're most likely going to go into some form into the state playoffs this year. You would assume. Ridgeview most likely is the head,
and hey, they didn't have Jordan
is a
Love
favorite
in that
D2.
game.
And then you look at
if they have Jordan Love in that game, they might have won that game.
Well, and you look at Cathedral Catholic, they could have beaten that team if they don't turn the ball over even half of those times. And that's a team that's in the running for the San Diego Section D1 title. So you're looking at 3 losses to 3 teams that might be section champs here in Southern California. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious to anybody they're playing better the last couple weeks. Look, we're not trying to tell you they're going to win it all or anything. This team has been way too inconsistent to predict that. But look, they've got as much talent and as good of coaching as anybody in the section. And so if they do get on a roll, you better look out because they could sweep through the SWL. If they do that, probably looking at a 3 seed in the playoffs. You're probably going to be behind whoever wins the CMAC, be it Bullard or Edison, and then probably whoever wins the track, be it Clovis or Clovis North or even Clovis West or Buchanan. At this point, it's pretty wide open.
At this point, I would put Clovis. If the season ended.
If the season ended today, it'd be Clovis, then Bullard, and then Liberty, I think. But there's a lot of games to be played. I mean, things are going to change. Clovis has Clovis East out of the way and still has its 4 most difficult conference games left. So things could change. Bullard still has Edison. They still have Memorial.
And
they
that
still
Edison
have
team
Sanger.
with their new quarterback that was a Sunnyside transfer, a lot of talk is about that kid kind of changing the offense.
Edison could make a run. You better look out.
Because the biggest thing is Edison's had a good defense all year long, and then, you may just see that offense rolling with the new quarterback. Who knows?
But I think Liberty's right there with any of them. Curtis Brown darn near broke my hand shaking it on the way out the door.
I'm not joking when I say that. We may have to call him Mr. Brown. I mean, you look at how big that guy is. It's incredible.
He is a monster as a junior. He's a monster as a sophomore last year. So anyway, I think that's what we're at. We're at with Liberty is they play Stockdale this week. We'll get to predictions in a minute. I think it's no surprise to say we both expect Liberty to beat Stockdale. And shoot, from there, Garces next week, right? And then you expect them to beat a D2 team in Garces. And then you have, tough one, Centennial and Bakersfield to end the year. But if Liberty gets through those, I think they're the 3 seed, and then you're in a pretty good spot to make a run. So that's where we're at with Liberty. Again, our game of the week tomorrow night, we're shifting gears. We're going into the Southeast Yosemite League. It's going to be Highland at South. This looks like, and I don't want to shortchange North here, but it looks like it could be the championship in that league. North has played neither of those teams thus far, and North, if they beat Miramonte, will be 2-0 and would still have Highland and South to come. So North could still get into that conversation, certainly. But this is a very big game in the SEYL race. And then tonight, again, a reminder, at 6:30, we've got Liberty at Centennial Volleyball live on Bakersfield.com, and that's going to start at 6:30. And then tomorrow night.
That's not a gimme for Centennial. This Liberty team, there's a reason why I have them number 3. And then
nobody in that league is a gimme for anybody. It's such a difficult. We think it's a good league in football. It's tremendous in volleyball. And then 7 o'clock tomorrow night, BVarsity game night begins with Vance Palm sitting in this chair, and he will have updates from around the county. He'll kick it out to me and Lewis out at South, but Also, you'll be at Garza Centennial providing some updates. Jeff Evans will be at Frontier Bakersfield. Steve Lynch at that Liberty Stockdale game. So we'll have bodies all over the place, and we're looking forward to Week 7 of high school football. Hard to believe we are only after tomorrow night 3 weeks away from playoff seeding time.
Well, and look at it. Girls tennis is already in the playoffs today. The league individual championship started today with SWL Laurel Glen, SEYL's out of BHS.
League champions, can you run through them real quick for girls tennis? It's Stockdale and the SWYL.
Stockdale and the SWYL. It was Independence at SYL. It was, I'm blanking on the SEYL, and then BCHS went undefeated once again in the SSLs.
Okay, you think about that SEYL. Yeah. We're going to come back to you. And golf, I believe, is also ready for the area meet on Monday, right?
Area meet is on Monday. I know that South will go up to the D3 area up in
D3
sections.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Buena Vista next week, you have the individual and team area qualifiers. So that'll be out at Taft. It was BCHS is up there for D2, and then Frontier and Liberty won a third consecutive SWIL title. Lexi King shot a 69 out there at Buena Vista last week. So she's obviously the front runner for the section.
That'll just give us an excuse to get her in here and talk about some music and dancing and all of her very myriad interests.
Yeah,
again.
Because right now, I talked to her dad the other night, and the thing is that, yes, she really does want to repeat as a section champ, but the way that she's playing right now, her eyes are winning SoCal and making it to state and seeing what she can do at that point, because she really is one of those athletes that really does shine at the largest stage.
Yeah, and that's it's going to be fun to watch what happens with those. And of course, Garza's water polo teams are tremendous.
The girls actually just dropped their first loss of the season to Menachie on Tuesday.
I think they've got 2 more weeks before playoffs.
Yes,
Volleyball still has 3 more weeks, and football, of course, has 3 more weeks. Okay, let's get to some predictions. We'll try to get through some of the smaller school games here in this segment before our final segment. Trevor and I thought we were going to be different on a lot of games this weekend, and
I think this is a first where we do not differ on a single game.
And you said, because you made your picks before me, and last night you said, I think that we'll be different on several.
Yeah,
then I started going through the games, and there was only 2, and we'll get to those 2 that I thought, these are really toss-up games, and we just happened to go the same on both of them. The rest, there's a pretty clear favorite, and neither one of us went out on any limbs in these games with clear favorites. So let's start in 8-man football. Mojave and Faith Baptist. It's hard for us to get updates on what happens. Mojave won last week, but it was not as convincing against Anemo leadership as some of their previous wins would be. And you always wonder in 8-man football, one injury can really, really affect the team, and you hope that's not what's happened with Mojave. Either way, they should be fine this week against Faith Baptist.
Yep.
So we both picked them to win big. Emmanuel Christian at Lone Pine. It's Back to the Future month, y'all, and the Lone Pine Mall is playing Emmanuel Christian.
Chris has been there. Our director has been to that mall.
To the Lone Pine Mall?
He says it's a great place.
All right. And we both like Lone Pine in this one.
Yep.
In honor of Back to the Future. Okay. Maricopa at Cuyama Valley. School that's the closest to being in Kern County without being in Kern County is Cuyama Valley. They are undefeated in 8-man football. Maricopa's kind of had an up-and-down season. We both take Cuyama Valley here.
Yeah.
Moving on to 11-man game now. Mammoth, or Mammoth, as you put.
Whoops.
At Desert.
It's a man mouth.
Mammoth gave Boron a pretty good game last week, but Boron beat him. I think Desert's better than Boron. I think Desert beats Mammoth.
Is that lemurs?
Yeah. Do you agree, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We agree on everything. Okay. I'm gonna let you make a pick then. Silver Valley Boron, go.
We both picked Boron at home.
Boron at home. You got a pretty close game, 27-20 there. Silver Valley, by the way, is in Yermo, which if you're driving to Vegas, you see the sign that says Yermo, and you look off to the road, and there's nothing there. It's like a total ghost town. So I wonder exactly where this high school is and where are the families that give kids to send kids to the high school. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Maybe we'll go do a game there one time. Burroughs at Hesperia. Burroughs a big win last week against Sultana to get off to a 1-0 start in the Mojave River League. Again, in the southern section, you got to finish in the top half of the league to make the playoffs. A win here in Burroughs is right on the doorstep of making the playoffs, even though they'd only be 3-4 overall. And we like Burroughs on the road.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about Hesperia is that there was a group of the guard unit that came to Travis Air Force Base, so that was there. So, and this is small story, I know. inconsequential, but it's one of those games where you and I are so close, even on our score predictions.
Yeah, I was just noticing that. It's ridiculous. We do these picks separately, folks.
Completely separate. You did them at home this week for the most part.
No, I did them here,
Okay.
but I did them at home last week. But you send me an email with that I
8
don't even
lines of
open.
don't look.
Yeah, don't look to start it, so I don't see it, and I don't even open the email until I'm done with all my predictions. And it's just silly how close we are in some of these scores. I guess we just
You've got it 27-23. I've got this game 27-20 for the BVarsity.
Okay, moving into the central section now. Cal City at Rosemont. Cal City, a big win over Fraser Mountain to open High Desert League play. Rosemont lost to Bishop to open High Desert League play. Now they host this game. These are two close proximity rival schools. Cal City's just got more than Rosemont at this point.
Yeah, I think so. But you don't have Rosemont really doing all that much with 6 points. I give them a 33-20 win for Cal City just because it's a road game. It's
could be, yeah.
A league rival. It's going to be closer than I think. So
with Burroughs, they play much better at home. They're on the road, so who knows with that game too.
Yeah, exactly.
The other HDL game this week is Kern Valley at Fraser Mountain.
Second week in a row where last week was the first time I've done this. This is now the second time I've ever done this. And that's until Fraser Mountain actually scores a point this year, I'm giving them a goose egg once again.
I mean, they've gone 6 games without scoring a point. We really need to get on what the state record is for if there's ever been a team that's gone 10 games without scoring a point.
It's absolutely incredible.
Fraser Mountain's 4 games away from doing that. Kern Valley, one of the better teams in the HDL, don't figure they're going to be the first ones to give up a point unless backups come in. You never know what could happen. But that's the astounding thing about it. Fraser Mountain
and that's a tough drive,
scoreless.
too, to get from Kern Valley over there. So, it takes a while.
Okay, let's do 2 more before the break. How's that? Orosi at McFarland. McFarland suddenly has won 3 games in a row.
And one of the better offenses, outside of the Bakersfield schools for the small schools, McFarland is actually doing some good things.
Here's the thing, though, about McFarland is Orosi is not very good. We didn't think McFarland was all that good when they started out 0-3, but they've won 3 games in a row. If you look at those 3 games, though, they're winning them by 2 and 3 points, even against – and the teams they've played have been different levels. One team you figure, they can't beat that team, and they beat them, like Kern Valley. And then the next week they play someone at a much lower level than Kern Valley. Oh, well, if McFarland can beat Kern Valley, they'll beat this team easily.
Farmersville?
It's not even Farmersville, Riverdale, I think it was. But they're playing them 2 points, 3 points. These are really close games. So my concern here for McFarland is, do you get sucked into another close game where the bounces don't go your way maybe and you lose? Take McFarland, but I'm not totally confident in that pick. I have it 21-14.
Yeah, what I like about McFarland is they're averaging about 200 yards passing a game, and they're averaging 200 yards rushing a game. So it's a balanced offense. So I think if one thing's not working, they can go to another, and that's what I like about what the Cougars are doing this year.
Absolutely.
They're a good, decent, balanced offense.
And I will say they look like they could win the East Sierra League right now because that league is not very good. Okay, one more before we go to break. Tulare Union at Delano. Oh, wait, did we miss this one?
No, I think I moved it up because Tulare Union's a ranked team.
Well, fair enough. We'll do this one then. We'll do the other SSL games after the break, but Wasco at Cesar Chavez. Wasco ruined Cesar Chavez's perfect league season last year by beating him 10-7 at home. That revenge factor for Chavez, they turned the ball over a bunch in that game. I don't see that happening. Wasco is not moving the ball against lesser defenses than the Titans. I think Chavez is pretty ticked off after last week, and I think they win big.
Yep, I completely agree.
So 28-6, I have it. You have it 38-14 actually for Chavez. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the rest of our Week 7 predictions after this.